million. Liverpool getting scammed by 0.1 billion. And they're gonna have to pay for it. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Cherki. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Cherki. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Cherki. We ain't paid 300 million. Numbers on the waiting millionaire with a pint of Memphis, la-la-la-la, and a bucket of shake, la-la-la-la, and it keeps me going through me day and night. Show me the way to Istanbul. Rugby's gone in the Champions League final. We're Man City and we won the treble. Best thing you'll ever see. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. City!
Steve, you're not happy with the service? Good morning, happy Monday. Do you know what? Do you get goosebumps when the chorus kicks in?
Yeah.
That's a strange way to feel about when Hamza sings.
No, not on Hamza. Not on Hamza. I mean that chorus. I mean the other one. Through me day and night. Show me the way to Istanbul. There, right there. Goosebumps. You see, my hairs are standing on edge. Every time. Goosebumps. It's a lovely morning.
Those who are there have goosebumps. I'm sure Alan does too.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, when I listened to Hamza, he was on Martin's Space this morning, and he was going on with himself like you would not believe.
Pardon?
He was going on with himself, just
pardon?
Bullshit, and it was hilarious.
What? And you heard this all live on Spaces?
Oh my God! He was on Space for about half an hour this morning. And would not show.
It takes him a while.
No.
That just went left. Anyway, do you know what? So on Saturday after our show ended, I went back and watched a bit, and I've clipped it. I'm going to actually upload it. Of when Alan, I actually got you on your hands and knees.
No.
And I don't know if anyone that saw that, I don't know Alan or Pete or Pat. Sorry. I don't know if either of you have watched Succession.
No.
Yes, I have.
You've watched Succession, yeah? What have you finished it?
No, yeah, no.
Right. What season are you up to?
Season 2.
Right. So you haven't. It's brilliant, isn't it? By the way, I'm in the middle of season. Have you seen the bit where he works out that there's a grass amongst them while they're away shooting in Europe, and he decides that for his way of working out who the grass is to get them all to act like pigs and get down on their hands and knees.
Not yet. Not seen that
right.
one yet.
But when you see that, then go back and watch Saturday's show, Alan, when you're on your hands and knees crawling around.
No, just let's be honest. If you go back and look at it, you had him on his hands and knees, and he couldn't figure out where the stair was in his own house. The geriatric fuck.
Oh, he's doing it again without even asking him. Look at him. This is where.
That's not a good angle.
Turn around. Yeah, you turn around. Fuck it.
Oh, God's sake. Can you imagine that as an extra in the Human Centipede?
Do you know what? Alan, yeah. And my mate, I showed my mate, and he said, I fucking love him. He doesn't ask no questions. You said stand up, he stood up. You said bend over, he bent over. You said get on your hands and knees, get on your hands and knees. And he just does it. Alan is just here for the vibes. In fact, do you know what, Alan? And I love you to bits. Never think that I'm mocking you, but
I was talking to this really nice girl, Marie. To be fair, I was mainly the brunt of the jokes, and fair enough, if that's my role, I'll take it. As long as I'm involved. Do not leave me out.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Do you know what? I don't know if you lot can hear the birds. I just want to show everyone my settings where I do, because I feel very blessed to be doing the shows in this setting. So I'm just going to show you real quick. In fact, keep my headphones on. Can you lot still hear me? Can you lot still hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, there we go. Right, so check this out. This is my setting, so that's where I sit. Let me zoom out a bit more.
Oh, nice. Good day. It's a nice day. We've got sun lounge area.
Yeah, lovely. Look at that, hey, and I tell you what, right, one thing I will show you. Let me do a bit of see how far I can go with this. This is some proper grass as well. It's fat. Anyway, there we go.
Nice. Nice.
Right. Now I have to reset the whole camera. Where's the City shirt? Oh, the one's too close. There we go. Perfect. Right, anyway.
A reminder to everybody, get your super chats in so Daps can get a call.
No. Reminder. I had a job until 3 months ago. The redundancy money is running out very quickly. Very fucking quickly. I think a lot of it went on Mykonos. Right. So, football at the weekend. Anyone watch, before we get into City chat, did anybody watch what game did I watch on Sunday? So Bayern won. Did anyone watch the PSG Inter game in Miami?
No,
that was 2 a.m. here.
I watched the Bayern game this morning.
I would say, right, PSG look good, of course.
But the European champions.
The European, you get the sense that the European teams are starting to wake up.
Yeah. Well, I think we always knew that, right? Once you got to the fact that it was only Dembele's first time touching grass. He hasn't seen the pitch yet, so it's first time on. And I think once you're here and we've seen City have already earned about 50 million, right? But I do agree, PSG look absolutely brilliant, right? However, and this could be the saltiness of me being a City fan here, what I'm going to say next. It could be me being salty, but how everyone is waxing lyrical about PSG at the moment, I don't remember getting that when we'd done fucking a treble and when we'd done a three-peat at the same time. I don't feel like anyone was waxing as lyrical about us as they were PSG. Is it just me, or is this like, they've had, if we're being honest, 5 months of being sensational, and at the moment it's like everyone's talking about them as if they're fucking world beaters, when it's like, calm down a little bit.
Well, Dabs, I watched that final, and not taking anything away from what PSG did, they were absolutely brilliant. You could probably play a little bit of blame on Inter for that performance as well, but you can't take anything away from what PSG did this season. What Luis Enrique's done there, it's exceptional. But I'm just keeping it to what I saw in the Champions League final. It just proves that he's a fantastic manager, and also you got to give credit too that it took PSG long enough to stop trying to be an artificial Galactico team and realize that if you actually invest and recruit the right players, you can actually do really well in this competition. The second it all went out the window for me in terms of credit and saying that this was a brilliant PSG side was when Rio Ferdinand was standing there post-match after the game talking on TNT, and he says, "This is a win for football." Excuse me.
Yeah. Like they're not an oil club again. Yeah. As someone just said it here. I think devious PSG is an oil club, but you hear nothing about it, unlike City. That is true. I do think that is a thing that it's never spoke about, and it's like, you know what? I think you're right. And I always say this: the season when Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe were all there, right, and they got through to the knockout stages of the Champions League, and I think this was only in Wijnaldum's first season at PSG, and they left Wijnaldum out of the squad so that they could put in an extra forward, right? And I thought at that point, you're not doing this right, man. You've got a fucking Champions League winner in that squad that's recently joined you, and you're leaving him out because you want an extra forward. But I don't know. And it probably is me being salty, just kind of like, I just feel sometimes like,
well, I've got different opinions.
I'm not even meaning the media. I just think overall the glazing of PSG at the moment,
Do you think because they're technically up until recently were like a one club city as well too?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Well,
do you know what?
Because I wonder if the day ever comes where Newcastle win a Champions League or something like that, they will copy a little bit from the media, but nothing on the scale of what City do.
No.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they are a one club city.
I think the other thing is Cass was sat next to me yesterday when we were watching the PSG game, right? And PSG were good, right? They were good. It was it was literally like, I feel for Messi a little bit because the PSG were trying to play it out from the back, but not PSG, sorry. In Miami, were trying to play it out from the back, right? But they just could not play it out from the back at all. And it's like Messi and Suarez up top, although Suarez looks like he can't run anymore, were just like, I don't know. And Busquets looked like he'd lost it a bit as well. And I just thought at the time, right, I was going on Twitter and seeing everyone waxing lyrical about how amazing PSG were looking against Inter Miami. And Cass, who's a United fan, said, I've got to be honest with you here. He said, when City beat Juventus 5-2, everyone's going, yeah, but, you know, it's not the best Juventus we've ever seen. And it's like, okay, well, this is Inter fucking Miami that PSG are beating in that case, because I didn't see anyone really saying the Inter Miami thing. It's still how good PSG looked. But we didn't get that when we beat Juventus. It was straight away. Oh yeah, but it's a shit Juventus.
It's the opposition too. It's like, because you look at, sorry, Alan, just quickly, you look at Flamengo, the way they played against Bayern, they were always going to be up against it. But if you put that Flamengo side against PSG instead of Inter Miami, yes, PSG is still going to win, but they'll put up way more of a fight.
Yeah.
Which is the case for all South American teams. Sorry, Alan, go on, mate.
Well, I look at it like this. When we won the Champions League against Inter, they lacked lyrical us for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But then the elephant in the room, the 115 came out for about half an hour.
Yeah.
And they keep on reminding us all about that when we play. Okay.
Yeah.
And they don't do that with PSG. PSG, wonderful team. Let's face it. When we played them, when they banged, I think it was a lot of 4 goals.
Yeah. Oh, we were lucky to be 2 up as well. To be fair with you, they blitzed us.
They bent us over and give us a good hiding.
They did.
I would rather them say about PSG how wonderful they are, and don't say anything about us, and we just go quietly around our business, say nothing, just go around and fucking win win this tournament that we don't give a shit about.
Right, so you are exactly the same as Chet Diff.
13 goals. All
do you know what? I'm happy with the media are licking their ass. The media are all over Liverpool like fucking. Do you know what? Right, let them. Don't get involved in the bullshit. 100%. Let them. Apparently they're going to be immortal. Apparently they're going to do this. Going to do that. Let them.
Exactly.
Spot on. Yeah. I hear it. I do hear it. Rather go under the radar. But anyway, right.
Can you imagine?
Hold on. What day?
Actually, just 1 second before we go into that, because I've left this title with this article with Alan, with Martin, because eventually we're going to be doing a little bit of like a city in the media sort of thing with something we plan to do next season. I just want to quickly read this article for you. Now, this was posted on June the 11th at approximately 8:45 in the morning, so in Australia. So this would have been probably about an hour, no more than an hour after we lifted the Champions League trophy.
Okay.
It says Manchester City claim historic Champions League title, but an ugly fight continues in court.
Wow.
Before I say anything, I just want to. Who do you think maybe did this? Maybe TalkSport, The Sun, The Mirror.
Now go on.
It was Nine's Wide World of Sports, which is our biggest free-to-air sports network here in Australia.
Right,
so even on the other side of the world, they're still besmirching our Champions League glory, our treble glory, by talking about 115.
And that was the morning.
And that was released basically at most 2 hours after we lifted the trophy.
Fucking hell! Yeah, that is mental. That is mad.
See what I mean? You're not just dealing with in your own backyard, mate. You're dealing with the other side of the world too.
Yeah, that is mad. That is absolutely mad.
I'll actually put the article in the private chat for you to read later.
Right. So I've been looking at news today. It is the 30th of June. How many days in June now? You'll know.
30.
Thank you. So I didn't know that, genuinely. So that means tomorrow's the 1st, which means officially new financial year, and hopefully the moves are going to start. Things are very quiet around Manchester at the moment. Things are very quiet around transfer news. Martin might be right, and City are looking to get rid of players before we see anyone else in. However, I wanted to talk today a little bit about Pep's press conference and so far the mood amongst the squad and whatever. And I think the first thing just to say on it and how important I think it is, right? Where are we? I've got doors opening. Where is it? Why can't I see my Chrome tabs? Here it is. There we go. Thank you. Right. First thing, this statement from Omar Marmoush. We've spent so much time sitting together at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Also, between sessions and after, we have free time spent together that brings chemistry up and makes us feel like a big family. We could be here for a month or so. Having fun every day helps a lot to improve the chemistry and feel better. I think he's spot on with that, you know. I know we spoke about it a bit, but this Club World Cup has come for us at the absolutely perfect time. And if you scroll down a bit, just looking through, these pictures right here, is what we've been waiting to see for two reasons. Firstly, Rodri, right? But secondly, look at every single face in that picture.
Yeah, all smiling, all laughing. Yeah.
Every single face in that picture is smiling and laughing, right? The one person who actually says laughing the least is the player that's currently just been voted our player of the season, and he still looks pretty fucking happy, right?
Yeah.
That picture for me is what I need to see out of this camp, right? And then if we move on to sorry, bear with me on this. I know there's some Pep quotes somewhere. Where did I see the Pep quotes? I think it is here. Is it here? No, this is him talking about, like, in fact, no, we can go through a few of these Pep quotes actually. But the main thing I saw that, in fact, we will go through the Pep quotes because there's quite a lot, right? So, the Cancelo one, we're not going to talk on Cancelo, Alan, but Pep's saying he's happy to, he's going to be happy to see Cancelo. I think you have to say that, Pep. I don't know. You know, that'll be interesting to read their body language. But Pep Guardiola, Man City's daily routine, just good training sessions after, and then after pool talk, beach. I tell them, be careful with sharks, be alert. Fucking hell. Someone grew up on Jaws.
Didn't know the preseason was here.
Yeah, and play golf sometimes. When I have time, some barbecues, good wine. Most people brought their families here. Energy in the moment of training in the game. The rest they're free to do whatever they want.
So the families are there as well.
Yeah, I did think so. But ultimately, and then let me stop sharing screen and move back to not that layout. Oh, where you gone, Pat? Pat,
I ain't gone anywhere, mate.
Come back. Oh no, that's just for me. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, you lot couldn't see what I was doing. This thing was changing for me. But then I have seen another quote from Pep where basically he's saying, look, the most important thing of this Club World Cup is for the players to find themselves and remember who they are.
Yep.
And that for me is spot on. Because what is it? Form is temporary, class is permanent.
Yep.
And that is what we do need to remember who we are. Because these players, right, last season and some of the games we saw them in last season, that wasn't the Manchester City that we know and love. And the fact that Pep is just reminding them that with a couple of new faces around, we're back. We're back. Can I say it? Alan, can I say it? We're back.
Not yet.
I knew you were going to say that. Pat, can I say it? Are we back?
Do something weird and probably agree with Alan and say we're worst case we're on the right trajectory.
Yeah.
Correct. If we get 15 matches into the season and playing really well, then I'll see it.
Yeah. Juventus wasn't enough.
The most important thing is it starts on August the 14th and going from there when the season starts.
I'm not going to let you forget about the Club World Cup, Alan. You can keep trying, but
mate, if we get knocked out, whenever the next
would you be happy?
I wouldn't give a shit.
Would you give a shit, Pat?
Yeah, because I actually care about wanting to try and win this.
Yeah.
It's a nice little rebound after a terrible season. This
if
is
we
an
win
extension of our treble season, Alan, as well. And also, too, I'm just looking forward to an 11 a.m. kickoff. And I know deep down you are too, mate. So don't be going and saying like you don't give two shits about this bloody tournament. But I know you'll be on the first bloody 10 a.m. train out of East Brunswick to your bloody pub.
Okay, shut up. Get me out.
Fucking hell. All right, Alan. Go on, son.
This is a slight Tuesday between me and him.
Are you sure? I'm not going to lose any sleep about it.
Yeah.
But if we win it, I'll be happy.
Oh.
Anyway. You'll be less miserable.
I'm with you, Pat. That exactly everything that I was saying about how, you know, the team spirit and the fact that we're ultimately, like Pep said, trying to remind themselves of who they are and get back to the team that we can be. I think it's all about confidence, right? It is all about confidence. And I think I said this back in December, maybe even late November, early December. I said, look, anyone that thinks we're just going to bounce back like that to be in the City of old, it's not going to, unfortunately, when a lorry breaks, a lorry moves at a mad, with so much power, right? The minute a lorry breaks, and this is why lorry drivers don't like braking, is because it takes them a very long time to work back through the gears and get back to the optimal pace, right? Yeah. And I think that's the same with us, that we have to build back this confidence. You've got to remember the confidence we played with treble season was the fact that we knew that when it gets to the business end of the season, if we can taste a trophy, then we'll make it happen, right? And we haven't got that momentum now. We need to rebuild that. And that's where I think winning a tournament, right, which has PSG, the current holders of the Champions League that we all are admitting are this good. If we can win this tournament, we're going to have to beat PSG or beat a team that has been good enough to beat PSG, right? Real Madrid is still in it. Real Madrid, some will say they've kind of, they've cruised or maybe just about got through to the knockout stages, haven't looked like world beaters. But guess what? That's what Real Madrid do most seasons in the Champions League. So we all know that Real Madrid are going to get better in this tournament, right? That's just because that's what Real Madrid do. Bayern Munich are looking good at the moment. So if we win this, there's going to be an extra bounce in our step, because the confidence will come because we're beating good teams. Even tonight's game, let's be honest with you, this team are not a joke. This team know how to play football. This team drew with Real Madrid, right?
Yep.
There we go. So the team we have tonight, we should win it, but it's certainly not a guarantee that we win this. If we're not on job tonight, we get beat. We do get beat, 100%. Now, go. Well, I was just going to say next thing. Go on, Pat.
Well, besides the usual names at Al Hilal, they're obviously the ones we've got to look out for. But you have to admit that just we're riding a crest of a wave of just this form that just hasn't been seen for the best part of 12, 18 months, basically. There's just so many positives at the moment. I think the negatives outweigh by about 20-1. But also too, I even if we were for some reason to finish second in this group, I still feel like there was enough confidence in me to actually put a performance against Real Madrid, if we were to play them at this stage of the tournament anyway. But what really impresses me the most when you see those sort of photos, you hear what Mamouche is coming out and saying as well too about the way that the team just seemed to be bonding and coming together and gelling really, really well. It's remarkable to think that, about 6-7 months ago, we had Koundoué saying on interviews basically saying that, he felt that the reason why we lost so many games was because we not necessarily lost our identity, but we sort of forgot the players sort of forgot who they were playing for or what they were playing for. But now they seem to have that back in a way. And I think now that you have that, that means that the team chemistry is going to be exceptional. You know for a fact that when they play, they're going to play to try and bag as many goals as they can. When they're not exactly on it, they're going to show some grittiness, some guts in us, some determination to actually get across the line. And if you're seeing that now, God knows what it's going to be like when we're trying to chase a league title in, say, April or May next year. We need to win the last 5, 6, 7 games or something to win the league. So it's one of those things that we talk about now, and hindsight's a wonderful thing. But I know for a fact that when we have this show again in May next year, we're going to look back and go, that's where it started. Playing beach foot volleyball on the beach at Fort Lauderdale and that in Boca Raton.
Oh,
we'll all come back to it, yeah.
Pep's still able to play football like that as well. Shout out to Pep. Now, talking to Pep people, there is 245 people in here. The likes are on 114. So one of you, who's going to claim it? One of you needs to get the likes up to 115 first, right? Who's going to claim that one? There we go. Someone's claimed it. Now let's push on a bit more and get them up to 150, please, people. 245 of you. Let's get those likes up at least to 150. Right. Next thing Pep said, this one really stands out to me. Pep Guardiola on Pep Linders. He's opened my eyes in many and a few things in a short time. That's what we need to hear as well. I think there's a lot of us that will be like, good. That's important. Because I do think last season, for whatever reason, I think Pep was probably doing a lot of the talking, making it a bit like me, a lot of the decision making, and maybe he wasn't being challenged enough. He said, though, it's happened for many years from all the assistant managers I've had. Always I try to drink their knowledge. Oh, I need the people like last season with Lilo, in the past with Mikel, with Enzo, with Dom, with Rodo. All the assistants help me. Always, it's what is your opinion? That is what it's all about. It's nice. And now we have experience with Kolo and James, with Pep Linders. And every time he adds something, I say, whoa, this could be good. We can make this step. We can be better. That is exactly what we need to hear. We need to hear that Pep is, that people are challenging Pep. People are coming up with ideas. Actually, quick question. How do you feel? I'm salty, by the way. I think people know I'm salty, but I'm definitely salty because you see the pictures of who was at the...
Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, how do you two feel about that?
Good, because it means he's changed his mind. He actually came. He slagged us off at the start, and he went on. He went on a program in the Middle East with 2 very salty people, and told them that he was wrong, that he's been to see City in Khaldoon, who impressed him, and he's changed.
Hold on, has he said that?
He said that when he.
Was this when he was on beIN Sports, Alan?
Eh?
Was this when he was on beIN Sports? That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Andy Gray and that
which one you're talking about? Because I was
Andy Gray in the day, and and who hates City, right? And he said, I've changed my mind after meeting Khaldoon and a serious conversation with him. He's changed his manager's opinion on Man City. And then when he goes and sees Pep, we saw he's happy and joking. I could understand him laughing and joking with Kolo because he used to play for him.
Yeah.
So, and from the looks of people's faces on the training ground, the players love Kolo. You can see it.
Yeah. I've always
they
got
seem
that
to be getting
vibe.
like an Uncle Kolo vibe from him.
Do you know what? But the thing is, it's quite right. If you remember back to when Yaya was at City, and Yaya was, he often looked quite serious. I'm not going to say he was serious, but he looked quite serious, right? Kolo's the opposite. Kolo always did, but you think of what Kolo's achieved as a footballer.
Oh yeah.
The guy was part of the Invincibles. Then he came to City, and let's be honest, he was one of the initial centre backs that won us everything. So, where's that beep? Can you two hear a beeping, or is it me? No, it must be me. Must be on my computer then. Keeps beeping. No, I think I agree with you on Kolo. I think Kolo does seem like I think him and Pep Linders have probably been a breath of fresh air around the training pitch. Yeah, on the Wenger one, I didn't realise he'd come out and said that he's changed his opinion on City, because I do remember early days he was very, very anti everything to do with City. Right, he was probably what started Arsenal off with the hate towards us. But Yeah,
that interview that he did on Bein Sports that Alan's alluding to really surprised us too, because I don't know if it was like a replay or something, because Bein Sports do the broadcasting for the Carabao Cup over here.
Yeah.
And I think we might have been watching a game or something, and all of a sudden, I don't know if Arsenal was on or maybe it was just a repeat or something.
Yeah.
The amount of praise that he had for City, but to also do it on that channel, it was surprising as much as it was a breath of fresh air. Because if there's ever a channel out there would not even give an iota of credit to Manchester City, it's PSG TV, aka Bein Sports.
Right. Okay. Noted.
Yeah.
It's Discord that's making the noise. Right. Next thing I wanted to speak on, flipping it, is Savio. Pep also went on to speak about Savio and said how Savio is a special player, and what he could be at Manchester City. And I think it's very important with what he said here, because I think he's spot on. And Pep said it about somebody before. I'm trying to think who it was, but he said he needs to decide, or he needs to be more clinical in the final third, right? And have more of an impact in the final third. If he decides he wants to be that player, or when he decides he's going to be a special player. And I think, like, this season, Savio for me is one that I think is very, very interesting how much we see him, right? Because if you think of your ideal lineup, do either of you two put Savio in it?
No.
Pat?
I put Oscar Bob in front of him.
It's a tough one. Yeah, I'd probably still say Oscar Bob's ahead of him.
Okay. Right. So you're both still going. See, this is an interesting thing straight away. Now, I think the fact is right now Savio has the jump over Oscar Bob, right? Oscar Bob's fitness is the reason that right now Savio will get the jump over Oscar Bob, because Oscar Bob, you know, he's been out.
I get that, but I think if they were both on the same level field at the moment in terms of form and fitness,
I would agree.
I think Oscar Bob gets in ahead of him. I think he's a more effective attacker and a goal scorer.
I agree. That's the thing that Oscar Bob has already shown us. Oscar Bob fully fit is the key thing here. Is Oscar Bob in that final third is clinical, right? He is clinical. Yeah. He's already proven it to us. 100%. I agree with you. So here's with Savio. But then the other take now is, because there'll be some people who will say, well, it wouldn't be Bob or Savio. I'd be playing Cherki or Foden, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is a huge season for Savio. Now, Pep definitely sees something in Savio, and it is all on Savio. If Savio, and I hate to say it, well, I like to say it, the other day, that goal from Savio suggests that maybe he's willing to step up to the plate and that he knows it. Yep. That was with his right foot. Yep. That wasn't even with his left foot. That was with his right foot. So a confident Savio, right? Can he be clinical? That's the thing. Because if he is, there's another headache for Pep. Who is it? Who do we play? And these are the headaches we need.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is that if we want, so I think the key for us is that once we feel like Savio's showing a bit more form and a bit more promise and seems like he's understanding what his role is in the club, then we'll probably start seeing that level of play that we saw him play when he was at Girona, the whole reason why we signed him. That seemed to sort of take a little bit of a back seat. I don't know if that was just because of maybe player hierarchy was a little bit different at City than it was at Girona. Obviously, Michel, managerial was a bit different. He plays a bit more rapid and things like that. But I think once Savio realizes that if he just goes ahead and just continues playing his natural game, and and it can actually learn to be a bit more clinical and a bit more sensible in terms of what he does, in terms of whether it's assisting, laying off the right pass, or trying to put your laces through it, then he's obviously going to have a fantastic career at Manchester City.
Do you think he's better on the left than the right? Because I do.
I love him on the left.
From what we've, I think everyone does. I think everyone apart from Pep.
Yeah, I know.
Can you remember that game where he started off on the right and Doku was on the left, and Doku and Savio just decided amongst themselves that they wanted to swap?
Yeah.
You remember that? And I'll always remember that assist against West Ham from the left. Absolutely beautiful.
That was the sort of thing that he was doing at Girona
Yeah.
feeding these wicked crosses through to Dobbik.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just
Imagine
latching onto him all throughout that La Liga season.
Imagine if that is what Pep Linders, when Pep says that Pep Linders is opening his eyes to things, imagine if Pep Linders is just saying really, 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 really fucking simple things like, have you ever thought of playing Savio on his preferred side? And Pep, I noticed in your first game you played Cherki as a false 9. Have you ever thought of playing him more as a kind of like advanced 8 or a 10? Just, hey, Pep, I don't know if you thought about this season,
but
but...
Calvin Phillips.
Pep, you know Scott Carson hasn't played a game of football for 3 years. Pep, have you ever thought about signing a left back? Pep's like, this guy's a genius. Oh my god, this guy's a genius. I cannot believe it, guys. I cannot believe it.
He's playing Savio on the left, and Pep will be like, can you believe he suggested that he puts in a 40-yard cross?
Pep, we have a striker called Haaland. He's very good in the box. Do you think we should get the ball in the box more? Oh my god. Kolo, come and hear this. You need to hear this now. This is unbelievable stuff from Mr. Linders. But
this is not FIFA.
And the thing is with Cherki, right? Let's move on to actually, no. Last point on Savio is, I think something that I've taken, which again is a positive thing. And if you're Player FC and you're Haaland FC and you want to see Haaland play every single game, right? Then maybe you won't so much hear what I'm saying, but there is truth in the fact that Marmoush, Savio, and Doku cook together, right?
Yeah.
It works, right? Whether you put Savio and Doku and Marmoush as your preferred 3, right? At times it works, right? And there's proof that it worked against Juventus. It worked back into the season. We saw it a few times when Haaland was out injured. It does work, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden now it's like, right, that is against certain teams. We are going to see that front 3. I'm very confident of it. And other times we will see a Haaland, Foden, Cherki as an example. Now,
and the other thing too is, I just want to add to, is like the Pep Linders thing as well. Is like, this guy worked with Klopp. They were all about that rock and roll football. Maybe he's going to bring a little bit of this to Pep's life.
Yeah,
and do things one that Pep never really thought of in terms of his football philosophy, and maybe number 2, just tweak things up a little bit. It's like just putting like a little random seasoning on a family recipe, and it ends up tasting just as good.
All right, we're discussing all these formulations. Where's Phil going to play?
Sorry, you two carry on a second. I've got absolutely mental stuff going on my computer. Talk amongst yourselves.
So you're mentioning Marmoush and Cherki and all this. Where's Phil going to play? Think about it.
Again, yeah. I mean, the question then becomes: is Pep willing to play more centrally? Because that's why he spent so many years on the left or right, because he felt that Pep was maybe in a position, and so Phil was in a position where he was more likely to give the ball away compared to anybody else in the midfield.
Yeah.
Now, that's the big question: as Phil turned over a new leaf, is he able to be that sort of reliable midfielder that David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne has worked for so many years, and Gundogan and Rodri, for example. So until he has, then I think it's basically him and Cherki's role to compete.
When I want to see Phil improve, is I want him to see if he can get hold of a game by the scruff of the neck and dominate it for 90 minutes on a regular basis, because he flits in and out of games and impacts it from that. But I've yet to see him, in all the time I've watched him, dominate total games on his own.
Who, Foden?
Yeah.
What, you've never seen? You've never seen that?
I've seen him flip it in and out, right? In and out of games, and have his moments, and good moments, don't get me wrong, but go in, get in a game and just totally destroy the opposition.
Can you not remember Brentford away season before last?
He didn't. He flitted in and out moments again.
But if you're saying moments, right? Is that
I'm talking like a David Silva. I'm talking like a Yaya Toure used to do it regularly. we used to dominate games.
No, hold on. I need to be. I hear what you're saying, but I need to be clear with what you're saying, because if you're saying he didn't do what Yaya Toure did against Brentford, I disagree with you, right? Because that's exactly what he did, right? Because Yaya Toure would step up and score a couple of match winners, right?
Okay.
Foden has done that. Season before last, that's why he got player of the season, because he was doing that in moments. If you're meaning someone that is literally controlling the game, then I hear David Silva's a perfect example. Rodri's probably a good example now as well.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'd like him to get.
Alan's right.
When he starts to do that, controlling games, he'll make that jump playing for England, where he does the same.
I'll be real with you. If we have to look at Foden as two different people, because until I see, look, Foden recent games was not even in the squad for England, right? They've got all these players, no one's doing it. I don't think it's fair to judge Foden on England, because at this point, I watch England play and they're just a fucking mess, right? Foden for City, he needs to improve 100%. At this point, right, I don't expect to see Foden controlling games, right? And that's just because of the type of player he is. I expect to see, what I want to see is him winning games again. I want to see him, because there's a difference between controlling and winning. At the moment, he's doing neither, right? But the season before last, he was winning games for us. I want Foden to be back to that, Foden, right? If we want to see him as a controller, then when Foden was younger, I thought Foden could be a controller.
Yeah,
but for whatever reason, he's changed as a footballer. He's not that type of player, right?
I don't know if it's the fact that Phil's only 25, and like Jens De Bruyne puts a really good comment in there. Just a few up if you want to post that, put that up as well.
Which one?
Who said Jens De Bruyne? He's about 7 or 8 comments from the bottom. He says, Foden has moments. Rodri is there to control games.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah.
I think so long as you have somebody there that can control games in the manner that Rodri does, I think Phil can just go ahead and play his natural game. He can be clutch or clinical when he has to, but he may not be the one that executes for the full 90 minutes. When you've got an engine like Rodri, something like that, you don't necessarily need that sort of thing. And I totally get what you're saying, Alan, but that's what David Silva and Yaya were known to do, because they could control games because nobody else could.
Yeah.
But when he's got someone behind him, he can go ahead and do whatever the hell he wants.
See, this is the thing that what I would say is Foden, the season he won player of the season, was a clutch player, right? Wasn't a controller. And that is, I honestly do believe, whether it be, for once I'm going to say it, maybe Pepper's coached that out of him, maybe the positions he's played, or maybe himself. But he's definitely changed. I will always remember the Foden I saw as young. The Foden I saw as young was almost modelled on a David Silva, was floating around the pitch, offering an outlet constantly. You can go back and watch Foden's best moments for all of Foden's touches from his first ever game for Manchester City. I think it was on tour in America, in fact. And the first thing that stood out to me was the guy was doing the David Silva role. He was moving between, creating triangles, and offering himself as an outlet, just like, give me the ball, and then he'll move it on to someone else, controlling the game. He does not do that anymore, right? And to be fair to you, 10s often don't, because David Silva probably in his prime was more of an 8 than a 10 for me. So I don't... Can Foden be that? Yeah. Would I love Foden to be that? Yeah, but I haven't seen that Foden for about 4 seasons. I think by playing him as... The minute you play someone as a winger, you're no longer a controller, right?
I think it's taken into account. So he's only 25. Some of these players may not figure it out until they're well into, like, closer to the late 20s.
Yeah.
So maybe that element of his game may come with more maturity. So who knows? But I think we do forget that he is only 25.
Yeah, we do. But I honestly do believe though it's that right. I think. Well, I always thought Foden one day will be an 8, right?
Yeah.
Just like David Silva eventually became an 8, I always thought Foden would one day become an 8, and I always wanted it to be soon. But I felt that because he could impact games, Pep played it. And also, there's 100% with Pep, you don't become an 8 until Pep fully trusts you, right? That's why you see, I mean, Grealish is a really good example. That's why you see players pushed out on the wing under Pep, Because I even think with Vardy, before Vardy got played as a centre-back, he'd rather play him as a left-back because to play in the middle of the park, you lose the ball in the middle of the park, there's more impact, right? Whether it be up top, middle, or at the back. If it's down the middle, it's more dangerous, right? And I feel like Foden has been, because he hasn't been given the 8 role, he's lost that ability to control games. And he's turned into a clutch player. So I agree with you, Alan. I want to see him. I want to see it. It's if we will see it. Go on.
What Phil needs to learn into his game, and he's still got time on his side, is if he needs to learn to keep the ball and control the ball, and not get muscled off the ball, similar to like what Gundogan does. Yeah. If he could learn to keep the ball, say like a Gundogan, he could easily be one of the best midfielders in the world.
Devious. Sometimes you're balanced, sometimes you're not so. Cherki, more impactful in 10 minutes than Foden in 90 minutes. I swear they both came on as subs the other day, if you're meaning the other day. So Foden didn't play 90 minutes. I don't know. I think...
I've not been having a go. Just to say where he can improve.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I agree with you, Alan. But for me at the moment, if I'm being realistic, what I want to see is Foden get back to the guy that can be clutch and win us games, right? Long term, I do want to see Foden be a controller, but I don't believe that Foden will... you don't see many controllers that play in the 10 role. It's more the 8 role or even the 6 role. Deep line is more where you control games. And I want to see Foden there, but I don't, again, maybe we will this season. Look, if you're playing Haaland, Marmoush and Cherki and Foden, those 4... Yeah. Maybe Foden will start dropping a bit deeper. But again,
started off okay.
Yeah. Do you know what? Even for England at times, in 1 or 2 of the games in the Euros last season, when we'd gone 1-0 up, right? And then the usual Southgate low block had come in. We were sitting back and just fucking literally defending and hitting long. And I remember seeing Foden started dropping deep, trying to receive the ball and advance the game. And at that time, I remember thinking, that's the old Foden I used to like, right? Who would be more of a controller, trying to speed up the tempo and stuff. But I do think maybe it has been coached out to him a bit by Pep, that he's been pushed into playing this clutch role, whether it be as a winger or it be as a 10, where it's not about controlling the games. And do you know what? Pep might have a point. When you've got Rodri in your team, you don't need Foden to be a controller because you've got Rodri controlling the tempo.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I'll be honest right now, I do agree with Devious Ducky. Which one would I rather be picking the ball up off of your Rodri or your Reijnders and running with it, Cherki or Foden? It would be Cherki at the moment. Yeah. Right? It would be. I'd rather see Cherki driving at teams than Foden. We all know what Foden's best at. Foden is best at receiving the ball in that certain area with the half turn and shooting. That's what Foden does best. So, but all these discussions again are good things because all of a sudden we've got options. Yeah. Whereas last season, we sat there going, fucking hell. I do remember at points last season, it didn't matter who was in the team. I was still going to be frustrated. Yeah. Whereas now, all of a sudden, I mean, it's a great place where I'm sat here saying, after last season, I'll be excited to see a front 3 of Marmoush, Doku and Savio, right? Yeah. If I see that front 3, I'm no longer going to go, where's Haaland? Where's Foden? Where's Cherki? I'm going to go, do you know what? I've seen that front 3 and that front 3's fluid and it works. And that's a good place to be in. And it's a good place for Pep to be in. And it's a good place for the players to be in because they need competition. I think, well, we know this team rises when it's got competition. When it hasn't, they get drained. Right. I saw someone put a team up the other day and it had Nouri being rested in the next game. Can either of you see that? Or a reason why we would do that?
Depends if both on that.
Cancelo. Their fullback will be Cancelo.
Well, you could play You could play.
So you're even thinking who he could play there?
Well,
I think it makes no sense.
Makes zero sense at all, right?
Makes no sense at all. The players who are going to be in Pep's plans for the start of the season need to be playing as many minutes as they can right now.
Yeah.
It's crucial for them.
If you look at it as well, Vardy got a knock a couple of games ago. So if you were thinking you could play Vardy there, well,
you could play Aki there. You could play Aki there.
You could play Aki there, but I don't know. For me, with Cancelo, I want to pin him back. I want to make it so that Cancelo can't go forward. So
Cancelo can't defend. Good way forward though.
Yeah, Nouri will give Cancelo a headache.
Yeah, I'd be pinning it back with Nouri, man. I don't know, and I'm pretty certain that I haven't seen anything to do with an injury. I don't know. I saw someone saying Nouri to be dropped against Al Hilal, and I thought,
just saying, if you had Nouri and Doku on the left hand side, you make their entire right attack completely null and void.
Yeah, exactly that.
We can say what we want, but we all know that Pep does daft things sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. If it was a case of where Nouri couldn't play, then what are we going with? Probably Nathan Ake.
Yeah, with Nathan Ake it would be.
Mr. Consistent, Mr. 7 out of 10. Will not put a foot wrong. Will not tread on Doku's toes when he's going forward. The sensible option, the sensible alternative.
It is, but I do believe it would then allow Cancelo to go to kind of roam a bit further forward.
Possibly, but Ake's such a bloody good defender. He'd be able to. I think he'd be able to keep him quiet. I mean, how many times Ake keeps Bukayo Saka quiet whenever we play them?
Yeah, true.
Well, I'll tell you something now. Ake keeps the guy from Liverpool quiet as well. What's his name? Salah.
So
yeah, Ake's had some great games. Agreed. He has. Here we go. We're at a point where, isn't it nice? We're actually saying we've got two options at left back.
Yeah.
Weird feeling.
Yeah. Agreed. Anything else? I've seen a little bit of news on Grealish. Apparently, that Grealish is quite happy to wait and bide his time. See what options are coming forward. I think Everton are still in the mixer with him. And also, who was the other one that I've seen in there? Who was the other club I've seen? No, still Napoli. Do you know what? I'm surprised I haven't seen Villa.
Yeah, well, Napoli have been looking at him, haven't they?
Yeah, Napoli. Let me just have a quick look to see if
it's the wages that are such now.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the.
And then how much are we willing to cover that if he does go somewhere? I don't know. This is it's safe to say, barring something falling into our laps from other clubs, this is one of those transfers that I don't think we will see anything happen until the last week of the window.
Do you think it's going to be one
of those? It'll drag out. It'll drag out because there's so many sort of ifs, buts, and maybes in terms of any club being interested in trying to go for him, because we'll want to. If we're going to have to pay a percentage of the salary, then we'll want to recoup as much of that in transfer fees, and it's going to be a very, very tricky one. I mean, the media's not going to make it any easier either, because they'll be just spinning riddles and talking riddles and jumping in shadows like they always do anyway. So it's just one of those ones that will drag on, it'll drag its knuckles in the way that it's been sort of handled. I just don't think we'll see anything until the best part of late August.
I've just seen some great. Go on now.
Would you wait a year for the right fullback to come on board?
Well, do you know what? I was just about to say this. Fabrizio Romano has just run some sensational, well, maybe not today, but between him and the person reporting it, Fabrizio Romano says Man City are now about to sign Newcastle United teenager set to join. Great clickbait, it's not Livramento.
Yeah, if you don't know how old Livramento is, that's ultra. That's uber clickbait right there.
And they're going, what? And it's got a picture of, and the best thing is the picture, right? Fabrizio Romano and then a Newcastle player, but with their head question marks. And I thought, you absolute bastards.
Well, he's 22, isn't he? 21.
Yeah, he is. But if you don't know that,
you're going to click on it.
Yeah, you're going to click on it. It's a Newcastle City set to join.
To answer your question about the right back thing, I think right now, again, unless unforeseen circumstances, I think Núñez is going to go in the season as right back. I think we have to accept that. And again, the club is not going to. The club's not going to buy a right back for the sake of buying a right back. They're going to do this with the intentions of having them there for a long, long time at the club.
Yeah.
Again, I am putting it out there that because it's Viana, because it's Portugal, he may have some sort of hyper scouting system going on that they might find that there's some obscure signing from the depths of other European leagues or South America, for all we know. But these remains to be seen. I'm not too sure, but that's what the Portuguese league pride itself on, was scouting these unknown talents and then selling them on for big money. Now there's a chance that now those potential big money signings will be coming to us. So cutting out the middleman, basically. But it's a long way off, I think. And again, like I said, the club's not going to buy a right back for the sake of it if they don't feel that it's going to fit into their philosophy. They're not going to be in for the project, and they're not going to fit well with Pep's ideas. But there's every chance. Sorry, mate. There's every chance too that we will wait another year to see where the right back market goes, because you've got to be honest, it's kind of dead, to be honest, this particular season. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we go. I mean, we haven't been scared to wait a season to get the right one. I mean, look what we did with getting Ruben Diaz after Company left. We waited a season. Well, I mean, it was obviously we didn't anticipate Laporte being out all season, but we're not afraid to wait a season.
Well, another one. I mean, it is a different sporting director. That's the only thing. So we might. But even if we're being honest with you, the summer we were due to get Jorginho from Napoli, that fell through. We were linked with, at the time, we were linked with Kovacic.
That's just Napoli. De Laurentiis just hates us.
But when that happened, I remember seeing City are now after Kovacic and Højbjerg were the two that were heavily linked at the time. And Pep came out and said, we're not just going to sign any DM for the sake of it. We have to get it right. We waited a season, then we went in and got Rodri. And the rest, fucking hell, the rest is history. The other one is McAtee. Congratulations, man of the match. Captained England once again.
Brilliant. I watched it. Great.
Is that back-to-back England under-21 Euro Championship where both captains are big City players?
There we go. Back-to-back.
Bellis, now McAtee,
Back-to-back. Yeah, back-to-back. There seems to be a thing there.
If they can't make it at the club, they can still make great careers for themselves.
Well, and I'll tell you what. Listen, if you are, as I call him, SP, but Simpson, one of you two say his second name because I'll pronounce it wrong. Poozy, thank you. Simpson Poozy. Well, Simpson Poozy, England captain in 4 years' time. Who says no? Who says no?
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out the door for 20 million.
Yeah, I think he might go as well.
Captain the Premier League 2 side, so yeah.
Yeah, captain them
to a league title.
And do you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. He came in at the worst possible time for the full team. And however much everyone else, because clickbait wise and how funny it sounds on a stream to say, don't know, pussy got.
You know what's funny? Simpson Poozy's going to fall into one of those obscure plays in 5 years' time. We're going to turn around and say, "Oh God, remember when we lost we had the 1 out of 14." They go, "Yeah, remember Jamal Simpson Poozy? Yeah, like he went and had a great career at so and so club." And
but he wasn't bad.
Remember we had him defend. We had him as centre back for a while.
He wasn't bad during that period. Like, if you go through and look at all the goals he conceded, it's not like you're looking at every single one going, that was down to him. There's very few that you're actually looking at him and go, that was his fault. And he got thrown in at the deep end, man. Yeah. Like you know, I've even said, to be fair to Savio was playing in a dysfunctional City team. Well, Poozy came in at the worst possible time and just had to get on with it. So he's a talented.
If anything, his adversity will probably create more for his stocks as well.
Yeah, agreed. And on McAtee now, I think that's exactly what we needed as a club. I'll tell you what, don't you wish McAtee was? We had 2 years left on his contract and not one.
Yeah,
we'd be getting a lot more for him. That 1 year contract, though, I think we'll probably get.
Is he going to Germany?
Yeah, I think so. I reckon so.
Germany makes sense. Germany makes sense.
He needs to go there because that'd be brilliant.
Agreed, Alan. It's a good transitional place for him to go. I think he's going to have fantastic development there for young players, and I think there's probably be about 5 different clubs that he could choose from, and all of them are going to look after him. Goes to Dortmund, you know he's going to turn into a great player. Stuttgart, I mean, the way that they've sort of rebounded in terms of how they run that club in the last 10 years has been exceptional too. I think they're in the Champions League this season as well. Yeah. Who else? Leverkusen. Well, we obviously know what Leverkusen has been doing the last few years as well. And I'm sure I'm missing another one, but again, another couple of respectable German clubs that we know would do the right job.
Yeah, Leipzig, which
Leipzig
they're
as well,
great
yes,
developing
thank you,
players,
yeah.
and the other one is Frankfurt, who linked with him as well.
Frankfurt too. I think it was smart this time not doing a Cole Palmer and not putting a buyback in there as well too. So if he ends up thriving in Germany and we put say 50 or 60 million on for a buyback,
that's what they're asking for, I think.
Yeah, it's smart business. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I think he will end up going there as well. It's a place that you see a lot of City players going to Germany and thriving, right? Even if you look at Gittins as an example now being linked back, there's Namacho, there's fucking Sancho.
Both the Metro brothers.
Both of them. There's also, I know factually that Cole Palmer wanted to go to Dortmund. Cole Palmer proper wanted to go to Germany. Like before Chelsea had come in for him, he was saying, "I want to go Germany. I want to go Germany." I think. Yeah. I think maybe
it's a chance to learn a new language as well. Great for him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look at
Trent. I wouldn't be surprised if he probably spent a bit after the game talking to some of the young German, after the final, talking to some of the young German players. Oh, I heard you play at X Club. Is it good? I wouldn't be surprised if we probably spoke to a few of them.
Yeah, 100%. Sumo, I'm just going to check Insta now. Give me a second.
What is it?
No. Hold on. Bear with me. No. Leave as is, Sumo. It's all good. I kind of monitors what's said by everyone, and if anything's over the top. Actually, one thing to the mods, please just appreciate Sumo. Appreciate the way you handled that as well a lot, mate. Really, really do. I'll check it out afterwards and get back to you. But leave it for now. And appreciate to everything all the mods does. Just one thing I would say to the mods. I did have one or two people's message recently saying they feel that they've been timed out or had things removed for just giving an opinion, not on a person, on a football matter, but maybe that because it wasn't the same. So I know it's got a lot better since I removed one person that was doing it all the time. But please always be wary, even if someone is annoying you because they differ with your opinion, please don't remove their comment. Of course, if it's personal about anyone, feel free, but love the job you're doing, mods. Right then, so today's the day we play tonight, or in fact, for me, no. What's the time where you lot are?
It's 8:37.
So the game is today for you, right?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hold on, is it tomorrow?
I mean, technically it's tomorrow for you.
11 o'clock. 11
no, it's
o'clock.
Definitely tomorrow for me.
Technically it's tomorrow. Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Right, okay.
Martin's been going on about it for ages. It's just like, let us have our fun in the sun, because we're about to go for about another 9 months of agony of getting up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
Correct.
And he's just going to, probably send us flashes of his season ticket every few weeks.
I mean, listen. I mean, it's early. It's early, but I mean, yeah. I mean, you could put it that way.
Tell us how you really feel, bud.
I'm here for it. I am here for it. I'm here for it. No, the reason why I asked you what time it was over there is because I saw one of the biggest City outlets put it's match day today. In fact, a few of them are putting it's match day today, and I was kind of thinking when I woke up this morning, who's it match day for? It's not match day for anyone just yet. It's tomorrow, isn't it? It is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow morning, 11 a.m.
And it's 2 a.m. where I am. So yeah, but either way, we will be up watching. Let's hope we can progress. In fact, before that, don't we have Fluminense against
Inter? Yes, they are
Inter.
They're sort of the prime time game for you. They're on at like 8 p.m. or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, I might.
Oh, is it match day in America?
Okay. Well, I'm going to get up early because I'm heading up the coast to watch the game with some of the old sweats from the Sydney Blues. But if I'm up early enough, I might watch that game because it could be good. Don't rule out Fluminense. I think Fluminense could.
You said that.
I think it'll be tough, but I think if Inter are not on it, which to be honest they are in a bit of a reset themselves after Inzaghi left, remains to be seen. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
I'm going to go back to my old ways. I'm going to start texting during the game.
Feel free. I need it. It's good. We can do Alan Watch.
Yeah, you can do Alan Watch again, which I know you like doing. I know you like
Don't
doing.
get your subs up, won't it? Yeah.
I do. I did. Do you know what I did? You did message me on Saturday. However, if I just let you know how Saturday went, when the show ended, it went. Got a couple of magnums in. Had them before I left. Then me and Soups, who I live with, went into town. The weather was absolutely blinding. Pen and Cobb, which is there's a hotel in Bedford called the Swan. Pen and Cobb, it's got the most beautiful terrace garden out the back. A lot of summer dresses and a lot of amaretto sours. And by 8:30, both of us were smashed. A few more magnums, taxi home, and I was in bed by probably 10 o'clock, to be honest. Because I'm old. I'm old.
Wasted. Yeah.
No, not old, and not those type of magnums. No, fucking hell. In England, well, I personally, not everyone, I drink a drink called Magnum, which is tonic wine. No, not those type of.
Maggie's,
Maggie's. Right, people. Well, let's hope we will be back tomorrow morning. You two are both welcome to join me. We will be talking about the game. Same time tomorrow, 10:30. Anything coming up on Mancunian Way?
I was watch along for this game. Probably have our Blues Down Under again around this same time on Wednesday. Keep an eye out for there should be a Thursday night chat as well, which will probably be a preview of hopefully the quarterfinal against Inter or Fluminense. So keep an eye out for those. Just the usual shows, the usual times. Obviously, if you'd like to subscribe to Mancunian Way, and we'll keep you up to date with everything.
Lovely.
And if you're in Melbourne tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, the Imperial will be open and showing the game.
Lovely. There we go. There's where you can watch it. This is gonna.
So while I'm here too, I'll say Sydney. We're having two host events. Cheers Bar at 561 George Street in the Sydney CBD, and also up in the Central Coast at Eleanor's in East Gosford. So 11 o'clock. So if you happen to be in either one of those areas, you know where to find us.
Please make sure as you're leaving, you make sure that like button is lit. This is going to redirect over to Never a Foul. We're not going live till about 1:45, but please stay where you are. Go over there, smash the like, put South Stand Raid. It helps the numbers. So please go and support Never a Foul, which I'm also a part of. And until then, I'm going to leave you with When I Met the Bratislavan Harry Kane. I'm in Bratislava. Sorry, and by the way, this was after a few sherbets. I'm in Bratislava, and I'm with the one and only Harry Kane.
Harry Kane from Wish, from Bratislava.
No, not Harry Kane from Bratislava, because your English is far better than Harry Kane's.
Is it?
Just speak English quickly.
Well, trying to speak English here in central Bratislava, guys. Hope you come to visit us soon in Irish pub.
50 times better than Harry Kane's English. There we have it.
Cheers, man.